Dude, I definitely believe trans people, man. There's a lot going on, a lot of controversy over trans people, man. I definitely believe trans people for sure, dude. Because I'll tell you what, man, a lot of people who don't believe trans people, who don't believe that trans people are trans, a lot of those people believe in Jesus. And that's crazy to me because you can see trans people, you can see transgender people. You can't see Jesus. Jesus is invisible. The only thing we know about invisible Jesus is that he's invisible. And when you walk on the beach with him, with invisible Jesus, and you get tired, invisible Jesus will carry you on the beach. That's all we know. Also, here's another thing. If you do not believe in invisible Jesus, like if you're born a Christian and you're baptized a Christian as a baby, and then when you grow up and you go, hey, I don't believe in invisible Jesus, Christians will call you a name. The name they will call you is a doubting Thomas. That's the name they call you, is a doubting Thomas, because Thomas was a guy. He was an apostle. And Thomas's big crime was that he did not believe in invisible Jesus. And then invisible Jesus appeared to Thomas and said, fuck you, Thomas. And he didn't actually say, fuck you, Thomas. He said, blessed is everyone who does believe in invisible Jesus, but not you, Thomas, because you didn't. So that's how Jesus says, fuck you. He blesses everyone but you, which that makes sense. It's a way of saying fuck you. It's highly passive aggressive of Jesus, but yeah, man, you can't see Jesus. Jesus is invisible, and trans people are not invisible. There's that new there's the lady at the Olympics. What's her name here? I wrote it down. Imane Khelif. Imane Khelif. I have no idea how to pronounce her name. This is a lady at the Olympics. She is from Algeria, and she's a woman. She's just a regular lady, and for some reason, because she's a lady with high levels of testosterone, everyone is saying she's not a lady. Like even Elon Musk. That's wild, dude. Imagine, and she's just a lady. She's just a lady with high levels of testosterone, and yeah, that's it. It's literally, dude. Imagine you wake up, dude, and like that's how you find out how you're perceived, because she has high levels of testosterone, so she kind of looks like a lady Sylvester Stallone. And because of that, all these people are like, that's a dude, that's a trans woman. And no, she's just a cis woman. She's just a cis woman. And but dude, that's crazy. Imagine that's how you find out that everyone thinks you're a trans woman. Is through Elon Musk. That's how you find that out, that everyone thinks you're a trans woman, is literally through, like, you wake up, you're at the Olympics, and you land a good punch. And dudes everywhere are like, no chick could have landed that punch. No biological chick could have landed that punch. That's got to be a trans woman. Dude, imagine there's a woman with high testosterone and she's tall and she just like dunks in the NBA. And now everyone is like, oh, she's a trans woman because she dunked. Man, I think this Imane Khelif lady, I think she proves that gender works on a spectrum. I think she proves that because she just has high testosterone and all that. Not only does she have high testosterone, but I assume these are athletes, so they're probably all taking testosterone, like in the off season, men and women, because they're trying to compete. So they're taking like HGH and testosterone. So in the future, all sports will be, like all pro sports will be women who take testosterone in the off season. So there will be an argument. You could say there's there's an argument that of sorts, in the future, let's say what we call women's sports, in the future, if all the women take testosterone during the off season, and they all look like, like Lady Sylvester Stallone's because of that, and Lady Wesley Snipes because of that. If that happens, will we kind of say that women's sports is now, I'm not going to say trans men because they don't identify as that, but maybe like some type of non-binary situation? That's like in the future, there's going to be men's sports and then like non-binary sports, which are biological women who've taken a shit ton of testosterone, or trans women who went the other way. They took the estrogen. So that's fair, right? Like there's trans women who were born a man and transitioned into a woman, and they took estrogen to do that. So they're going down. They're bringing their testosterone down. Then you get other women like this Algerian lady. She's probably taking testosterone during the off season. She's going up, and they just meet right there at Lady Sylvester Stallone, like a lady version of Sly Stallone or Wesley Snipes. That's just because they're athletes. So that's what I think. And yeah, that'll be the future. They'll just be, and it'll be all sports too. It'll be like even curling. There'll be just like a lady with a stash doing ladies curling. Probably like that now already. So should probably move forward off of this. They say that most people are doing their best, and that is not true. Most people are not doing their best. Most people are playing video games of some kind. I don't play video games proper, but I do post onto social media, and that, in my mind, is a form of video game. It's a creation form of video game, so I guess it's a little better than just playing someone else's video game, like a lot of people do. Dude, a lot of people, like adult men, play video games. And successful ones too. Like I remember when I was a kid, my dad would turn off the video games and be like, "This is junk. This is gonna rot your brain." And now I'm older, and I learned that Elon Musk is like a huge gamer. That's wild, right? That if I kept on playing video games, it would have increased my odds of becoming Elon Musk. I know no homeless people who play video games. Literally, that's not true. I think they play on their phone, like pinball style games. But I don't know homeless people that play like Zelda. And you might say, well, they don't have a TV or an Xbox or a Nintendo or something or whatever it is. But it's like, man, I've never heard them say I used to be a big gamer. Like before I was homeless, I used to be a big gamer. Never heard of. I talk to a lot of homeless people. I really do. Dude, there's this whole thing in New York City, man. They're saying that they're going to have congestion pricing. I don't know if you guys heard about this, because there's too many cars apparently in New York City. And there's not too many cars. It's just there's literally not too many cars. So that congestion pricing thing is just a scam. I live here in New York City, and what it is that all the companies and services will double park. And so there'll be like a 2-lane road, or even sometimes a 1-lane road, and literally just a service double parks. Just a service or a delivery truck, someone delivering meat or vegetables to a restaurant, or just booze, like just someone delivering kegs to a bar. There are people draining someone's septic tank or something. Just literally services and delivery people double park, and that just gridlocks everything. That's the sole reason. Anyone who's ever taken an Uber in New York City, where you just get it just comes to a standstill and it starts to move slow. When you get to the front, you realize everyone is just taking their turn on a 1-lane street, going around someone who's delivering wine. Dead ass every time. So it's like, just work on that. That's it. They're bringing the Bible back to schools. Do you guys know about this? They're bringing They're bringing the Bible back, and into like I think it's like Oklahoma. They're going to start to teach the Bible as history, and the Bible's not history. It might have some historical elements in it, like some factual things referenced, but it's not history. Because the reason it's not history, the reason I know this is they're trying to sell a religion. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not history. Yeah, they're literally trying to sell religion. It's not history. It's not history in the same way that Marvel movies aren't history. Like Marvel movies will reference historical stuff. Like you'll have remember that X-Men movie where the X-Men stopped like the Bay of Pigs invasion? Like that's what I mean. That's what the Bible is. The Bible is that. The Bible is taking historical stuff and then putting a supernatural twist on it. So it's literally that X-Men movie where they stopped the Bay of Pigs invasion or whatever, the one in Cuba, the Cuban Missile Crisis. They stopped that. They stopped the Cuban Missile Crisis, if you remember. But that didn't happen. In real life, the X-Men did not stop the Cuban Missile Crisis. They did not. They did not do that. In real life, there's no X-Men. It's not history. You know what's weird, man? We are at war. Like we're at war with Russia right now. But what the United States is really good at is the United States is good at being at war with another country, but like making sure the war takes place someplace else. Like the United States is like, hey, we don't want war in New York City. We'd rather pay for a war in the Ukraine. We don't want a war in the rest of Europe. We'd rather pay for a war right next door to Russia than have an actual war with Russia. And that makes sense, dude. We do the same thing with Iran. We're like, we'd rather have a war in Palestine than a war in Iran or with Iran. So we just have a war with Palestine in Palestine instead. We fund a war in Palestine. Iran funds the Palestinian side. We fund the Israeli side, and really, it's the U.S. versus Iran. That's really what it is. And the U.S. versus Iran and Lebanon, and just all these factions that have gotten together to fight the West, as they call it. And it's not Iranian people. It's not Lebanese people. These are right-wing religious factions within their governments and whatnot. But yeah, dude, we just don't want the war in New York City. So we just go, we'll pay for it in Palestine. We'll pay for it in the Ukraine. We will pay for it in anywhere else that is not New York City. And so we might have to pay for a war in Taiwan soon, which that's terrifying because we really need Taiwan. They make all the semiconductors. So that's one that we actually can't, we have to help Taiwan. That's the one that people are the most floundering on, I feel sometimes. They're like, yeah, I guess let China have it. I'm like, no, we need the semiconductors. So do some research. We really, 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 really need the semiconductors that Taiwan provides. They provide like 80% of the it's like 80 or 90% of the semiconductors that are the good ones, like the ones that are used in like phones and computers and stuff. They come out of companies that are owned by the Taiwanese people. Dude, there's people always talk about Donald Trump and how I guess he's getting like immunity because of the Supreme Court and stuff, and everyone's like, this is unprecedented. He's getting immunity when he shouldn't get immunity. Dude, let me tell you something. The craziest shit I've ever seen in American history was when Benghazi, when the embassy in Benghazi got attacked and U.S. officials got murdered, and President Barack Obama and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton blamed it on an Egyptian man in California who was making YouTube videos. Dead ass. You can look that up. They were like, oh, the reason this wasn't a terrorist attack, this was a spontaneous uprising from a protest about where they were protesting a YouTube video made by an Egyptian man. And the video talks shit about Muhammad, the prophet. And this Egyptian guy made this video, and that's why this invasion happened into the embassy where U.S. officials got killed. It was spontaneous. We didn't know. We couldn't have. And then it was discovered that they could have known, that they were warned about a terrorist attack, and that it was a terrorist attack. It was a terrorist-sponsored attack. And then they had to walk it back, and they had to be like, "Oh, hey, yeah, that's true. We did no, our bad. Yeah, we did falsely imprison an Egyptian man without bail, and that man is now insane, living in homeless shelters, effectively in California. You can look that up. He's living in homeless shelters now in California. He literally went insane because they just locked him up without bail." And this is a guy who came from Egypt to be like, I'm moving to the United States so I can talk shit about the religion I grew up with, which is fine, dude. Fucking, I grew up being a Catholic. I talk shit on that all the time, dude. That's what's great about America. You can come here and talk shit. And this guy was like, I can go to America. I can put a YouTube video out there talking shit on the Prophet Muhammad, and nobody can do anything because it's America. And then all of a sudden, literally, President Barack Obama and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton put you in jail without bail. So that's what happened to that guy. That's that guy's life. Dude, have you ever been I've never been friends. I haven't been friend zoned in years, but I have been friends with benefit zoned. This is when you're having sex with a chick and you want to make it exclusive with her, but she doesn't. And so you're like, "Oh, you don't want to make it exclusive because you're fucking other dudes." And you don't know how many other dudes there are. Not just that, but you don't know whether or not you're the money guy or the good dick guy. Cause I'm a gentleman, so I'll like pay for like meals and stuff, but it won't be like fancy meals. It'll be like pizza and movies and stuff. And so I think like, oh, I'm not spending that much money, so I must be the good dick guy. But then you realize like maybe there's a guy out there who spends no money. Maybe there's a guy out there who doesn't even take her out for pizza or a movie. He just texts her at 1 a.m. and she just shows up just for the dick. And as crazy as it sounds, I'm the money guy with pizza and a movie. It's tough, man, to think about who you are. And then maybe there's even a bigger money guy. Maybe there's a better dick. Maybe I'm the guy in the middle with decent dick and pizza and a movie. And the other guy is there's a guy with the great dick and he spends no money. And then there's another guy with worse dick than me, but he's got more money. And I'm not the guy who's going to win. It's either going to be the money guy or the stellar dick guy.